So, hello, and I thought today what I would do is share with you a case study from one of my clients who came to me 9 months after she'd had bariatric surgery. So, I have my case study notes here, which I'll be referring to, so I can explain to you how the body code and the emotion code helped her in releasing and reducing her symptoms that she had experienced as a result of the bariatric surgery. So essentially she had surgery to shorten her colon or shorten her bowel in order to help her to lose weight. And she'd lost 50% of her body weight since then, but she had suffered from a huge degree of reflux, stomach discomfort, and stomach disorders. What she actually said was, following bariatric surgery, my tummy and intestines were constantly grumbling and producing spectacularly unpleasant winds. Whenever I ate, I burped for hours, and ridding myself of the byproducts were nasty. I had diarrhea and stunk up the bathroom. So I guess this sounds quite amusing in a way, but the reality is that it's really uncomfortable. And the fact that she was able to verbalize so clearly what was happening for her, I think, is an indication of how uncomfortable this was for her and how this made her feel. So I was living in Leeds at the time, and she was living in Johannesburg in South Africa. And I did remote distance healing sessions with her. I can't remember how many I did. I either did 2 or 3 sessions. I think it might have been 2. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is that she found relief after the first one and subsequently as well. So what I did was I connected with her energetically from a distance. I didn't do a Zoom call with her. I didn't do it visually. I just had the email from her, and I agreed the time, and we connected. I connected with her energetically and worked with her higher self to release the things that were underpinning her symptoms. So her symptoms were the things like the flatulence, the gas, the rumblings and the grumblings in her tummy, the discomfort. I don't work with, for example, bariatric surgery, because I don't know if the body recognizes that as a thing, so I tend to work on the symptoms. I work on releasing the symptoms. And I have here her case study notes, her record of what I released, which I type up as I'm releasing, and then I email to the client after the session, regardless of whether I see you or not. So I'm just going to talk through a few of these. I think they're very interesting, and I don't know, it's sometimes very hard for me to see the connections between what I've released and what happens as a result of that release. But if I have a look at some of the things that we released here, first of all, her gallbladder tested as being unhappy. Now, this is interesting because she had her gallbladder removed. She didn't have a gallbladder, but she does have, according to my belief system and according to the methodology, the emotion code and the body code, it's possible that you have an energetic remain or an energetic shadow. And obviously, before the gallbladder was removed, it was absorbing all these emotions and trapped emotions. So it was unhappy, caused by physical malnutrition of micronutrient deficiencies, so that's your vitamins and your minerals, which again was caused by a misaligned or imbalanced colon, indicating that she wasn't absorbing her nutrients properly. So what I did was I reset and balanced all of that, and it's confirmed that she was in fact absorbing her micronutrients, and I got her body to a place where it said, yes, I'm now ready to absorb those properly. Then she had a stomach imbalance, which was a physical trauma energy from her operation. And what I did was I just rebalanced and aligned this, brought it back, released the trauma. She had a psychic trauma of 4 trapped emotions. This is interesting because she absorbed it from her son. And obviously her son was very concerned about her having this operation. So psychic trauma is when we experience something and we absorb a whole lot of emotions at the same time. And they form a ball of energy of all these trapped emotions that kind of happen simultaneously. And we can only release a psychic trauma as a whole. We can't release the bits individually. So it's important to identify that there is a psychic trauma, because if we don't identify a psychic trauma, we won't release all the energies associated with this. So what her son's emotions were that she absorbed from him was panic, frustration, rejection, and indecisiveness. And I was able to release this trauma from both of them. Now, there's some more stuff going on here. I'm not going to go through each and every part of this report. But what was another thing that interested me was she had an imbalance in her left ovary, which was connected to or caused by a disconnection between her physical and her spirit bodies in the region of her ovary. So in her ovary, the space of her ovary, she had a disconnection between her spiritual ovary and her physical ovary. They were connected at about 72%. They were talking to each other, if you like, at about 72%. And there were underlying causes for this. And the underlying causes, one of the underlying causes was an idea allergy that she had. And the allergy was relevant to the thought of being pretty in relation to being slim. So you can see that she had, in her mind, in her mind's eye, she had an allergic reaction to the possibility that she could be pretty and slim. Once again, this was caused by heart walls, and heart walls are, so once again, this is an underlying cause, and the underlying cause was heart walls. Now, heart walls are when we build energetic walls around our hearts to protect ourselves because we've been hurt so often that we want to now stop ourselves from being hurt any further. So we had heart walls of resentment. Then she had trapped emotions, effort unreceived. She had a disconnection in her root chakra, which is the chakra right at the bottom of your trunk. It's an energy wheel attached to your spine, and it's the one that we associate with safety and stability. She had something upsetting that. And the thing that was upsetting that was a post-hypnotic suggestion which said, "You are fat." So this was negatively implanted at some point in her life, a post-hypnotic suggestion which was just keeping on going around and around in her head about "you are fat, you are fat, you are fat." And this was interesting for me because I've known her for a long time, and she had many times attempted to lose weight, gone on diet and whatnot. The bariatric surgery was a last resort. So, and you can see that, can't you? If you've got a thing going on in your head saying "you are fat, you are fat, you are fat," this is constant feed. It's very hard to override those mental energies that are going on, those subconscious messages that we're sending to ourselves. Very hard to release those and to get past the stage of thinking "you are fat, you are fat." Anyway, so there were many things there that we released for her. And the amazing thing now, the wonderful thing that I need to share with you at the end of this, and I'm going to finish now, I'm just going to have a look at what her feedback said to me. She sent me feedback in the way of a testimonial that I could use on my website. And what she said, one of her feedback things that she sent to me was, following our first session, the swooshing and gurgling abated, and even after eating, I was more comfortable. After the next session, there was a miraculous improvement. The attack on my and everyone else's olfactory senses was milder and way less offensive. My husband has stopped shouting a warning of nerve gas or suggesting that I sell my toxic waste to the Pentagon. A few weeks later, and I am diarrhea-free as well. And that is wonderful. I can't tell you, when I read that, my heart was full. I just thought, wow, this is astonishing. I was blown away for her. I was just so happy and so excited for her. So that's an example of helping people recover after surgery. And it's an example, I think, of the power of this healing. And if you would like to experience healing with me to the same kind of power and to perhaps have the same kind of results for whatever your issue, and what my byline is, I release your worst symptom. So whatever your worst symptom is, I leave you with love and light, and I bless you in your journey and your healing going forward, whether it's with me or with anyone else. I wish you well. In love and light. Bye-bye.